Hello, 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 and welcome back. I have time for one before needing to head out. And, when you have time to terraform the planet, you almost have to terraform the planet. Now, we haven't done an Inventrix run, I don't think, in a while. Well, maybe we have, maybe we haven't. The girl never tells. Um, so let's talk about what would be powerful. Like, advanced alloys, tectonic stress power is good, because advanced alloys is powerful, though we have no productions. Um, and then tectonic stress power is powerful because we can play it for 3 energy once we have 2 science tags, which advanced alloys would give us. The only other thing that I see is the Soletta, which, if I grab these $9 worth of cards, we can still play Soletta. Everything else is just okay. Like, don't get me wrong, like, there's some good things here, some good things there. We could have 2 plant production if we got both of these. Not to mention you could try and go for decomposers, but the percent, you'd still need to bump the percentage once before playing it. Either way, I think this is fine, and we still get to draw 3 cards from the start. Which were, I don't want to say trash, but like Sabotage is obviously bad. While kelp farming is actually very powerful. I haven't had a game where I've rushed oceans. Like, I've quote-unquote rushed oceans, but I've never actually just gone all in on, like, I'll do a standard project for an ocean. But, like, that might be worthwhile here. I can tell you right now that it would be great if we could get a bunch of energy and do the steelworks thing. I don't know what the best way of doing it, though, because, like, buying nuclear power early would be bad. Getting advanced alloys first gives us no return. Like, it's like, buying these cards takes me until Generation 5 before I can start doing anything. But science and some steel can go a long way in that. So I think I have enough to get some energy, which gives us -2 money production, but we'll turn around and get 2 steel production, which is a net swing of +$2, but in steel, which is, limiting, but we have cards that require steel, so we should be good. Not to mention we have advanced alloys, and we still have the 2 extra energy, which we'll start producing and spilling over into heat. The heat going up due to Soletta is like really the driver here to give us a little bit of kickback and keep us in the game. So I don't think I can actually play anything this turn other than advanced alloys, which doesn't really matter. But I could get algae. And I mean, I could get regolith eaters, which is it's good in its own right because it helps us get to our science tag requirement. But let's just chill out and go for algae, because that way we know that getting oceans gives us both kelp farming and algae. Are we able to get kelp farming and algae? Well, if we get oceans. Are we able to get oceans? Well, I'm not super sold on whether or not we can get oceans, but by Jove, we will try. And there's a good way of getting oceans, for example. So we'll pick up that card. We'll get our advanced alloys, which unlocks tectonic stress power. I don't know why I could not find it in that list for some reason. So now our steel is worth extra. We have a lot of energy coming in. Then we're going to use the steel next turn to give us even more steel production, which is going to put up oxygen. I may as well steal a power supply now. There's no reason not to. Getting an energy income is just good. It's a good thing to do. We have to remember too, if we're ever short $1, we can sell our sabotage card. There are chances that sabotage is better to keep, just A, to hurt the neutrals, because screw that guy, but B, what's my reasoning here? You could get a card that gives you a bigger rebate than selling the card, but the chance of that is low. It takes investment, and selling it for $1 is just good. I think it's worth grabbing Gene Repair, because if we get up to 3 science tags, then we play Gene Repair as the 4th science tag, which would allow us to buy Quantum Extractor. If you don't follow, that's fine. We'll talk about it more when we get there, or maybe we won't. But right now, we have 4 energy in our pool, which is what we've been setting up for, buying all those energy cards. And we can now convert the energy into 2 steel and an oxygen. The steel is worth extra for us because of advanced alloys. That is awesome. We're getting heat bumps, which is going to give us heat production based on this bar. So even feeding back on itself. Everything is good. Or in the immortal words of the LEGO series, they are quite good. Why does that was a weird graphic. Oh, I guess it's just saying that we got it. Usually that lights up, I thought. Getting more heat would be good, and it's a good use of our steel. Asteroid mining, oddly enough, I think is good. We can't get it this turn, but probably next turn. And it's good because the return on investment is high because we have advanced alloys. So it's $8 a turn worth of titanium if we do it. Pretty good. And I have nothing better to do right now. At least I don't think I do. Can't see anything. We're waiting on a science tag. We're waiting on oceans. We need to get oceans by playing our card that cost a whole bunch of titanium. To me, it seems like a good reason to get some titanium production. We can still play Archaeobacteria. We need $30 for asteroid mining, so I only want to grab 2 cards here, and I think Lake Marineris is huge, and I think that Shuttles is actually good for us because it has an oxygen requirement of 5, but every turn, because of our energy action, we're going up 1 step, up 1 step, up 1 step. Shuttles will be relevant sooner than it normally is, and I think it's a good card. And if we had bought the plant production card, we would not have been able to get asteroid mining this turn because we would have had to play that card before doing the heat bumps, or we would have had to do the heat bumps next turn, and like I just don't want to slow down the engine. You know, we got a good thing plugging away here. The metrics, well, everything but oceans is steadily increasing, and we have 4 oceans in hand and 1 guaranteed free from the board. Now, these are all good for us, specifically because they take steel. And for that reason, I'm considering taking them all. Now, we can't play urbanized area just yet, but the other ones we can play. And then it's just a question of, we have 5 building tags. Sorry, let me get more steel, because that's what we get to do with our action. And then we'll talk. Let's talk. So let's do this for $1. Then we have 8 tags. So we get this tag here. And now that we have 7 tags, this building here will be our 8th building tag, which will give us 4 income. So for the first time, we'll be out of negative income. Well, in actual positive income. And then very importantly, if we look at our tags, we have 4 science tags. Quantum Extractor takes a little bit more money than we have. So are we willing to sell 3 cards? Not really. I could have not taken Urbanized Area, which would have been good, but I think it's fine not to. The real question is, do I want to do Shuttles then? And I can afford to get it, and we don't need that energy for something else. Because we have 2 things that can consume energy, but we need 10 to do both, which we're not close to. We are soon, but it might go back down again. But we definitely need to do Steelworks, which takes 4. The 6 is just, you know, convenient to get 2 points if ever we can get a surplus. Oh, we were able to do shuttles early because we're Inventrix. Didn't even realize. By that same token, we get trees this turn, and that would be very powerful. I don't think we need a nuke. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more card draw. And I honestly, I'd like taking indentured workers because I always find it's a net positive of $5. And there's been so many times I've ended a game where $5 would have given me an extra point anyway. So I just think it's great. And there's no situation where I'm not buying a whole bunch more energy production. Excuse me, I have like the burps. I had some delicious curry earlier. And it was so good I ate it twice. So we get our heat bumps, which puts us into range for trees, because Inventrix gives us ±2. I never mentioned at the very start that Inventrix was chosen because I wanted the 2 science tags, and one of them came from Inventrix and one of them came from Advanced Alloys. Like, I don't feel like I made that extremely explicit when I really had meant to. I wanted that for card draw. If I'm going to use it for card draw, I should use it now. You look at a card, you get to choose to buy it or not. I don't think we need it. It gives us a lot back. Oh, do we need steel for anything is the only question here. And the answer is no, so I don't think it's worth playing. So we'll do trees. That gets us in the whole plant game. We never ended up getting a single ocean, other than if we had gone for giant ice asteroid, but was not worth it to go that way. So we weren't able to take advantage of the $5 we saved last turn, but let's look at this turn. Because we ended with more than $5, so obviously I didn't need to take thing, but hey, a couple of things I like here. In fact, I kind of like all of them. It's greedy to take all of them. I don't think we need the science tag. I like the card draw, but we're not that affluent. Big asteroid changes things. Does it really, though? Like, here's the harsh part for me right now. I took it because it's so high value, because it gives us how much back? Let's just look. It gives us 4 titanium back, which for us is 16. So this is 2 heat bumps for next to nothing. But we don't need heat bumps. We're already looking like we're going to max out on heat. Yeah, that was a mess up on my end. Let's do Lake Marineris, because that's just a really good ocean. And we'll get some titanium and some cards. And then we'll meet back at the drawing board here. Oh, let's also get our oxygen bump. I should have kept an energy to do physics complex, because we don't need the heat. I had underestimated my lack of heat needs. So I think this is an easy play. It's free, basically, to play this card, and we get an energy production from it, because we get the same titanium back that we spent on it. I think I want the giant ice asteroid. And specifically, I'd like to get plants with it to get us up to 8 plants, so I can get a thing this turn. Oh, and I also got, well, another ocean, I guess. I should have made this nook. It's not too late. It's never too late. This is a hard choice for me, but I think I want to be on this top line and have the choice of going either way depending on how quickly I can get my oceans out. And then I can get algae. I didn't realize I was going to get to 5. Oh yeah, I have plus and minus 2! Ah! Whatever. I'm going to take algae. Next turn I'll take nitrolithic moss. And all the other ones will fall into place. So I'm sorry that I grabbed big asteroid. That was a mistake. Though again, we can sell it for $1 and we bought it for 3. It only hurts when there's like something better you could have spent your money on. Corporate Stronghold works for us really well, and Points per Jovian I think works for us. And so does Livestock, because we really want 1-point animals, because we have a giant convoy. So this is a good time to look at the top card. Definitely don't need that. The problem with building that city right now is that it's going to dip my energy production down. But I don't think that matters, because it's also minus 2 points for the record. But we do this and we put it here. So now we can make some nice greenery spots. And you may recall at one point I bought an urbanized area. Wouldn't this be a fantastic time to throw that down here? So now we have 2 cities on the board and they create a nice little area for us to play in. That gets us enough for livestock, which I will buy. The big reason for buying livestock is because now I can buy the large convoy and get, I'm going to get this ocean, and I'm going to get 4 animals onto livestock. Because I'm prone to error, and you guys, excuse me, that was a huge email notification about nothing. Ugh. So I'm super prone to errors, as you guys have pointed out in the comments section. Thank you for finding my mistakes. I do not mean this in a disparaging way. Genuinely, I'm always blown away by your guys' ability to catch things. I do, you know, there's something just satisfying about finding another point, you know? And again, I'm going back to the drinking game of points, 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 but still. Now, I can play greenhouses right now for free, and I will. If we put it off, we might be able to get another plant at one point, but right now I'm happy to say that we'll start heading this way until this is filled up with oceans. We have a lot of time left. That actually gives me enough money for nitrolithic moss, which is better than my Jovian card. Despite me really wanting Vesta, like that's 2 turns in a row that I've put off Vesta. Just getting a lot of this terraforming done early, I'm liking it. It's a lot of money in TR. The Olympus Conference is good because it's worth a point and we can buy it with steel. Everything else is meh. Let's look. Birds. Birds is expensive to get a point. But I could get 2 points if I buy it this turn, so I will. I'll get that. I'll get... We don't have that many things that require steel, so I'm going to get the physics now. I'm kind of transitioning into the, I guess the bad boy phase of the game, where I just kind of go about my daily business, not caring. It's not that I don't care, it's that it's like I'm looking for the points. And I'm like, I want to get kelp farming because that gets me another greenery this turn. And I want to get Vesta, and I want to get water imports. But I think the best thing to do is get water imports, because we need a lot of ocean. So this gets us a little bit more ocean, gets me the extra plant I wanted. I still think kelp farming is good, though. It's so much, like, income in, like, plants and money. And I'll get Vesta, because at least I know that that titanium will be useful almost immediately. And let's keep heading towards these plants. I want to make sure I can get lots and lots of plants. Now I'm floating another $5. Again, it doesn't feel great after I lost a point earlier to have $5 ahead of time, but you know, it gives me the flexibility to make sure not to lose. This is very powerful for us. Now I love Earth Office, but for like the first time, if it was the 13th generation, I would have bought it. But oh, I didn't buy birds. Oh, see, the whole cost calculation on birds was that it would be great for 2 points, $10 for 2 points versus what I just did. Look at the top card, solar power. Do I have something to use steel on? Yes, but not worth points. But I think I still don't want that 1 point. So the Lagrange, I think, is very worthwhile because it gives me a card and another half card, so we'll see what it gives us. Great Dam, well, that's a point, but again, I'm not really in the market for points, which is not something you hear me say often, but I'd rather go over here to get closer to these plants. And it gives us the titanium back, which I can use down here for a ocean. English words. You know, here's the thing. Here's the thing. How are we going to win this? Grass is good. If I grab 2 plants, though, grass isn't quite enough. It's probably a bonus greenery, though, at the very least. I also like the idea of building a city. I need the oxygen hubs, and I need an ocean. We start with an ocean. We put it here. Then we take these plants and we build a greenery. We're definitely getting a bonus greenery that we can put there. I'm just wondering if it's worth buying a greenery to put there. We're at 12. So if we buy a greenery here, for instance, not only does that solve the oxygen in a way that I can do this and get 2 points for physics complex, but it just feels right. Gene repair is 2 points. So we have 14 plants after production, which is 2 greeneries. So I don't think grass helps us. I think the obvious thing to do here is gene repair, because that at least draws us a card, and it's worth 2 points for $12, which is just a great ratio. And then we have a couple of things here we can do for single points. $20 for 2 points. I think the better trade is 25 for 3 points. Then we take this. So buying birds was a mistake. There's a lot of mistakes. Let me sell those for a second. Double checking. I have 14 plants. As long as I grab 2, I get 2 greeneries. I'm going to grab 2 with my first bonus placement, of course. Yeah, I don't know. I like both the dam and the wave power. You know, had I done this oxygen bump using my bump, it would have given me 2 steel, which I could have used for the other thing, and maybe that would have got me another city. If I bought, oh, I did end up selling rats. I was gonna say if I bought the grass, it would give me the greenery this turn, and this would be 2 steel and like a second steel and $4, which is $10, which isn't enough for the Great Dam. Doesn't really matter. Like, I'm just overthinking this at this point. You get 1 point. We overinvested in heat, but that is the way of Soletta. As long as I grab 2 plants. Wow, 41 heat. Ugh. I do like in the main game competitively that there's the award for Thermalist, and that is I feel like it really does balance out the over-investing in heat in a way. I mean, all of the awards that they have in that game kind of are about balancing it out. Like the miner is all about, oh, you overdid your metals, you know. It's just interesting. I don't know. Maybe you should post in the comments what your favorite milestones and awards are and stuff. 105 points. 30 points on cards. You know, only like 3 or 4 of it was from the Jovians, but like, sorry, there was only 3 or 4 Jovians at all, but they were worth a handful of points altogether, probably 10. 10 on cities. I feel like we could have pushed this to 110. There's a couple of key mistakes, and I think that with a little bit more money, I would have felt more comfortable making that a city. Just we were a little bit tight on cash. What a game, though. A lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed. I sure did. And I'll see you in the next one.